females, at least, are very sensitive to songs that sound local. They do not like a strange accent. If they lived in Charleston, they wouldn't like them from off, right? They like local. Well, think about what that means. This is the one bit of data I'm going to show you because I love this experiment. We discovered this by accident. So I do my work in Pennsylvania, and when we first started there, we didn't have any songs from Pennsylvania. We had just gotten there. So we called some friends in New York and said, send us some songs. And we played them to our birds, and our birds were like, I don't even know what you're talking about. They did not like them at all. I was like, what is up with that? It's not that far away. It's 500 kilometers. They're birds, for heaven's sakes. They migrate. They fly more than that distance. So we just started asking, where's the line? We called this Zeno's paradox. Find the halfway point, and then the quarter, and then the eighth, and the 16th, and the 32nd. Cut it in half. See where they draw the line. So these graphs, I don't want to get hung up in the details. The line on each of these graphs is the line where the birds would be if they didn't care if it was. In each of these tests, we compared local against one of the others. If they responded equally, they'd be at the line. So for males, they didn't like New York, but they were kind of cool with everything else. So males discriminate, but not that much. You got to be vaguely local, but not hyper-local to impress a male. Females started to worry us because they didn't like New York. They didn't like the half. It's not even shown here. They didn't like the quarter. They didn't like the eighth. They didn't like 34 kilometers away. Did not like it. These are birds that migrate. We have birds that we find during migration down in North Carolina from Pennsylvania. They certainly hear songs from 34 kilometers away, but they do not like it. They're very sensitive to local song. So that raises a question of how do they know? So, sorry, I usually work in black and white, and I wanted to make color for this, but I didn't have time to do all my songs in color. These are the songs I showed you before. This is Redfish Red Orange. He is a classic Pennsylvania field site bird. He's close to my heart and soul. This is a song recorded 34 kilometers away. And you look at it, and you're like, I don't know, it looks like a song sparrow to me. There's even some bits that are the same, like that bit there and that bit there. But there's also bits that are weird. Like, this is just odd. Nobody in Pennsylvania sings that. That's totally odd right there. So you start realizing the overall pattern's the same, but the little bits are different. And the females do not like weird little bits in the song. Now remember, they learn to sing. So the accent, if you will, that a male is singing has to do with what he heard while he was growing up. So females are essentially saying, I want to mate with someone from around here, from around these parts. And that got me wondering, do males differ? Do males within Pennsylvania differ in how local they sound? And the answer is yes. Each of these bars represents a bird in Pennsylvania. The blue bits are... So a male that's all blue is a male. Everything he sings sounds local. This guy sounds completely local. The red indicates bits of song that only that male sings. This guy over here sounds like a total oddball. He sounds like he doesn't belong in Pennsylvania. And so one of the things I'm looking at is how much that matters for these birds' lives. All right, so I've been taking a deep dive into song sparrows. A lot of what I've told you is true for other species. But let's look at some other species, too, just to see what they look like. So I'm going to play a game.